Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name's Breezy. We got some big news. We got some big news because right on the heels of the United States National Tournament here, we had the spoilers for Rosetta. Thematically, you can tell I'm very excited, which is going to be the 14th set in the lineup of some already killer sets this year. So I expect no less for this one. But more importantly, we are going back to Aria, specifically Candlehold, which has some deep-rooted lore, very rich. As we saw back in Tales of Aria days, that lore was really entrenched and really detailed out. I'm really excited to get back into that. But of course, what I'm most excited about is that we get 2 new Runeblade heroes. And I know we have been going for a long time. The Arcane folks have been hungry and starving for something to satiate that hunger, and LSS has answered that in the form of 2 new Runeblades and 2 wizards, all elemental, as of course you would suspect in a set focused around Aria. But yeah, so I figured today we'd kind of go over some of the set details that have already been revealed, some of the cards that were revealed, and then I want to give you some speculative takes on what maybe you should keep an eye out for if you plan on getting in to Rosetta. So let's take a look at what was revealed already. I just wanted to mention a few things on this landing page before we get over to February, and I'll show you some of the cards that I'm really hoping have an experience, a comeback in this set, on top of all the new cards, of course. But it says here, Rosetta returns to the mythical sanctuary of Aria, through thorny thickets and volatile thunderstorms, deep into the dense undergrowth where the forces of earth and lightning converge. Very nice. So here we see we've got a release date of September 20th. Of course, that is not too far off. Considering Part the Mistveil just came out, we are literally in the beginning stages, tip of the iceberg of the meta being kind of scratched in Part the Mistveil. So to get a new set date and some details about it is already just crazy. So Rosetta marks the first set featuring all Arcane. This is what we were hoping for. We, as in me and a lot of the people in the community who were really kind of, like I mentioned, really hungry for an all Arcane or just a more Arcane focused heroes. It's been a long time. So introducing 2 new wizards and 2 new Runeblades. Obviously, that's a home run for me. So to fans of Flesh and Blood, that's us, right? With the return of Aria comes the return of the elemental talent that will see heroes wield and meld earth and lightning cards like never before. Pretty sweet. Of course, this is a sealed deck, draftable possibilities, all the good things that you want in a big brand new set. 24 full art Marvel cards. Look at that. That is a lot of Marvels. That's insane. So I can't wait to see what those are about. Look at that beautiful green rose. I don't know. But here's some key dates for you to check out. Obviously, we're gonna need a world premiere. It's gonna land out in Tampa, September 6th, which is awesome. If you're in that area or if you're planning to travel for the world premiere, you're gonna want to book those tickets because from what I understood, the Part the Mistveil in Japan was completely sold out very quickly, and that was overseas in Japan. So you can expect no less at a stateside event at the caliber of Rosetta. So, and then we've got some play date events. Of course, the weekend of pre-release is the 13th through the 16th. So you're going to want to book your those events, mark your calendars right now. So I'm not going to read through all of this, but I do want to showcase some of these cards right now because we're getting our first look at Felling of the Crown, which is a earth attack action card. If there are 4 or more earth cards in your banished zone, this gets +4. So it's already a 3 for 4. It could possibly be a 3 for 8 if you meet that condition. And then we got a new keyword called Decompose. When this attacks, you may banish 2 earth cards and an action card from your graveyard. If you do, each hero puts a card from their hand onto the bottom of their deck. Great disruption if you meet that requirement of when this attacks, you may banish 2 earth cards. Now, I'm wondering if those 2 earth cards and then that 3rd action card can just be another 3rd earth card. It doesn't specify. So well, that might make sense for a certain kind of hero ability later on, which we'll talk about in a minute. But that's really cool. It doesn't have go again or anything, but in a set like this with Runeblades and Wizards, we can expect some instant speed shenanigans that manipulate action points. So I'm not too worried about this. A 3 for 4 doesn't sound great, but a 3 for 8 with a block 3, that is a pretty big attack, especially with the disruption that we want to see. So let's get it back into the next one, which is a Florian specialization. We'll take a look at Florian here in a second, but this is our first glimpse at one of our first Runeblade heroes that's going to be coming out. This is the Earth Runeblade called Florian, and this is a XX cost spicy XX Runeblade cards. I love it because it says create a rune chant or embodiment of Earth token. Repeat this process X more times and then gain X plus 1 life, which is awesome. So again, this doesn't have go again, but Runeblades don't really care about non-attack actions not having go again because we have cool boots that say we can get those whenever we want. Spellbound Creepers is awesome, and I think that we're going to see a lot more cards that emphasize the use of your Spellbound Creepers. Pick that up. If you don't have it, pick up your Spellbound Creepers like yesterday. So this is really cool. You can pitch 6 into this, create 3 rune chants or embodiment of Earth tokens, and then gain 4 life if you were to pay 6 in that example. So pretty cool. Getting some more XX cards. The artwork on that is insane. Absolutely lovely. And then we've got Heartbeat of Candlehold, which is Verdant's specialization, which is the Earth Wizard. And this is a 1 cost for 3. And this is our first look at maybe what this hero is going to be up to. Gain 1, gain 1, gain 1 life. There's got to be some thing on their hero ability that says when you meet a condition of gaining life, you get to do this thing. Maybe opt 1 for each life that you've gained, something like that. I know that wizards tend to want to opt to filter through their deck so that they can kind of hit that big combo turn. Maybe the Earth Wizard and Lightning Wizard do not care about that kind of static ability that's been represented in the past, but that's just a speculation here. So lots of life gain. If anything, this is also hinting at maybe a fatigue-styled wizard. Pretty cool. I hope to see it. I hope I don't see it, actually. That sounds horrible. Here we go. Here's what we want to look at right now, because this is Florian. We'll look at the hero ability in a second, but this is our Earth hero, our Earth Runeblade. Look at that. Kind of autumn, spooky vibes. Love that. And then we've got, next to him, we've got our Earth Wizard, which is Verdance. She is stunning. She looks really cool. Doesn't look threatening at all. I'm sure this hero is totally fair and totally fine, just like all wizards. And then we have Aurora, which is super cool. Something to note here is that as we look at her actual non-Marvel card, which is what these are, you'll notice that the imagery is different, and that's only for Aurora, which is something to note. Curious to know why she's got different image and a different image for her Marvel version. So maybe there's something up with that. Maybe she transcends or transforms into... Nah, she's not going to transcend. I've got Parthimus fell in my mind. She transforms into something. I don't know. We'll see. But she is looking awesome. Love those purple colors. Really excited to see what all she can do. And then last but not least, we've got Ocilio, which is a lightning wizard. I can only presume that we've got Earth and... we've got one of each of the classes in their talent. And he is a robot or something. He looks like something. I really don't know. It's not coming to me right now, but if you played Baldur's Gate and you can summon those like elementals, that's definitely what he looks like. And this is an elemental wizard, so maybe he's like a summoned elemental thing from a druid or something. We'll see. And then here are the details for the Tampa world premiere. Make sure you catch up on all this if you have any plans of going, and your pre-release information. But of course, we've got some more details before I move on. We've got the expansion slot information here, 1 in 15 boosters for that. I don't know what the standard rate was prior, but I'm glad that they're giving that transparency as far as what your count is or what you can expect. This set does have 258 cards, 1 fabled, 5 legendary, 49 majestics, 57 rares, and 128 commons with 14 tokens and 24 marvels, as I mentioned earlier, which is awesome for the collectors out there. So sealed deck is going to be back to the 8 packs, which is fantastic, and booster draft, of course, is 3. So that is pretty sweet. And let's take a look at the booster box artwork, which, I mean, if I'm new to a game or if I'm just getting interested into a game and I see this sitting on a shelf, I'm buying some. I'm like, what is that? That is beautiful. Stunning artwork. I think they knocked it out of the park with this. Of course, it wouldn't be a new set without these new Blitz configuration, like themed boxes. This time we're only getting 2 booster packs, which is totally fine because in return we're getting a 4th deck and this stunning playmat that has the key art of the set on it. Home run. Again, this is incredible. These are going to retail in the US for $70. So, you have to ask yourself, is it worth it to pick this up? Maybe save a little bit more for a booster box. Or maybe you're like me and you just buy it all because if Flesh and Blood is on it, if it's printed on the box, you're going to buy it. And that's just something that I live by. All right, so now that we've covered a little bit more of the details surrounding the set, let's take a little bit of a closer look at the 2 Runeblade heroes that we have information about. And I'm going to give you some speculation on some cards that you can keep an eye out for if you plan on playing them. All right, so right over here, we've got Florian, which this is his young hero variant. We only got a chance to see the young heroes in this early spoiler. And this does say that if there are 4 or more Earth cards in your banished zone, Florian gets, if you would create 1 or more aura tokens, instead create that many +1 of each of those tokens. This isn't a once per turn kind of thing either. This is just if there are 4 or more Earth cards in your banished zone, each time that you would create an aura token, create that many +1. So, of course, he's going to care a lot about embodiment of Earths. He's going to care a lot about rune chance because he is a Runeblade hero. So once we start to meet that 4 or more condition, we're going to start making a lot of rune chance. This is technically a weird hybrid version of Mordred Tide that just sits on the board as your hero ability. Really, really cool. Although Brian Gottlieb did say that as he becomes an adult in the 40 life, maybe, well, I guess we don't know what his total life is as an adult, but as an adult, this hero ability does change. But look at this artwork. I mean, he's got some of this purple Viscerai type armor. He's a little bit of that goth boy vibe going on. And of course, he has the essence of Earth, which I think is really, really cool. But that's not all, because we also have Aurora, which is our lightning Runeblade, I guess essence of lightning elemental Runeblade hero. Her ability says a once per turn instant you can pay to create an embodiment of lightning token. Activate this only if you've played a lightning card this turn. Both hero abilities are incredibly strong just right out of the gate without really even having the context of the 258 cards that are coming out. So, of course, the resource curve of paying 2 as a once per turn instant to create that is on the surface kind of high, especially for an aggro-centric Runeblade, but we're going to give it the benefit of the doubt and hope that, a lot of the cards are obviously going to be built around that resource curve to make sure that you're at least able to do that. But then again, that also comes down to how you're going to build your deck and, the resources and all that stuff. So that is Aurora, and she's going to be focusing on the essence of lightning. So we also got spoiled this beautiful card here, Channel the Millennium Tree, which says, go again when this enters the arena at the beginning of your action phase, Amp 3. This is a 3-cost, 3-block red pitch, Earth Action Aura. Does have go again, which is fantastic. And Amp 3, for those of you that may be saying, what does that do again? I pulled it up for you because we got a chance to see what it does in Kindle, just in part the Mistveil. This was the expansion slot for Wizard. This says Amp 1. The next time you would deal arcane damage this turn, instead deal that much +1. And this does happen before prevention effects. So it's not, you can't do anything goofy with an amp. It just applies to the attack, which is awesome. So the Channel the Millennium Tree is going to be incredible for both Runeblade and Wizard. Obviously Wizard, but with Runeblades, we've got a lot of cards that give +1, if you meet a certain condition, this attack does 1 arcane, etc., etc. On top of that, we tamper around a little bit with a little thing called rune chance. So a single rune chant with Amp 3 is going to be a single source of 4 arcane, which is pretty insane. Next up, we did get Channel Lightning Valley, which is a 0-cost instant. Fits the resource curve of a go wide lightning go burg deck just perfectly, because it says the first time you deal damage to an opposing hero each turn, draw a card. And then this is, of course, it's got both of these have the counter system similar to Channel Mountain Heroic, where you had to have pitched a lightning card, you'd put a flow counter on it, and if you don't do that, then you would destroy this. So this card is really, really cool because it's an instant speed. The first time you would deal damage to an opposing hero each turn, draw a card. So coming in for, let's just throw it out there, a snatch. 0 for 4, whatever. Say we've done this lightning instant. And then we create the embodiment of lightning because we've played a lightning card this turn. That snatch now has go again at instant speed. And if it hit, we got to draw 2 cards. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm sequencing this all wrong in my head, but that sounds insane. There are both of the channels that we've just gotten spoiled. Now let's head over into the Tales of Aria archive, because there are some cards that have been sticking out to me since this reveal has happened. I want to share my thoughts with you. All right, first up, we're going to talk about Florian because he's just looking pretty awesome right now. So I want to talk about him. Obviously, the no-brainer is Channel Mount Heroic, which is going to be an old faithful back in Briar's days who was just doing just degenerate things with. But I don't think it's going to be the same for Florian. I think he's going to play a little bit more fair because he doesn't have access to those go-wide turns where he can take advantage of this +3 on his Scar for a Scar, snatches, in its E-strikes, etc., and pull off these massive, long combat chains. I think where this Channel Mount Heroic is going to come into play is Florian's going to pay a lot of attention to buffs and making his attacks really, really tall. And this is just a no-brainer hedge into that deck. For me personally, it's a 3-cost red, so it already has its downsides. The plus side is that +3 to attack action cards that you control. Blocks for 3, and it is an earth action card, so it meets that condition. If you need to fuse something, you can always just flash it in, fuse whatever you need to fuse. Even if you can't play it that turn, tuck it in arsenal. There's not much to say about Channel Mount Heroic. I think that as soon as you see an earth-focused Runeblade, you're going to go gravitate towards Channel Mount Heroic. So I just wanted to clear the air. It's going to be an obvious no-brainer. You're going to want to pick up Channel Mount Heroic if you don't already have like 45 laying around in your old dusty bulk bin like me. All right, so next up we've got Bramble Spark, which was another absolute banger in Briar. Bramble Spark is the 0 cost block 2 non-attack action that if you were to fuse this with an earth card, it's going to get +3 to your next attack. So let's say we have that Channel Mount. Let's say we got the Bramble Spark. This is fused. We're at +6 for our next attack. And this says when you attack with this, deal 1 arcane damage to target hero. Again, we're already dealing with Runeblade shenanigans, so we want to deal as much arcane as humanly possible. If you have the new Channel Millennium out as well, this is going to get amp 3. So that deal arcane damage is going to go from 1 to 4, and we're back up. So it's going to be pretty huge. And then on top of that, we're getting the +3 from the action or from the buff if we were to fuse it. So Bramble Spark for me is going to be coming right out of my bulk bin, and I'm going to be wedging as many of these, the reds, the yellows, the blues. I'm going to find a green pitch if I can, because Bramble Spark is just a no-brainer for Florian. Last but not least, I'm going to predict that So Tomorrow is going to see a ton of play because this card really didn't see too much. I know there were some cards or some decks that were kind of had a 1 of or 2 of in the deck, but I think this is an instant 3 of in the red because it's a 1 cost 2 block non-attack action that says put target earth or elemental action card with cost 0 or greater from your graveyard to the bottom of your deck. So we're already going in for the recursion situation that Runeblades love to deal with, especially when you think of Rattlebones. This is Rattlebones on a stick. You would banish So Tomorrow. Hey, remember when Florian's whole hero ability was like, I want earth cards in my banish zone? This does that. And then if So Tomorrow was played from Arsenal, you get to draw a card. This does all the things. This is going to check out as probably one of my hot predictions, but I think it's going to flow. I think it's going to flow. But now let's head over to Aurora and see what cards I think she's going to be cooking with. So first up, I want to mention that Aurora, they didn't say that her hero ability was going to differ as she gets into adulthood. So we're going to be able to make a little bit more of a hot, spicy predictions, probably stupid predictions for Aurora. But this next one isn't super spicy at all. This is a pretty good take here. Lightning Surge, right? She's going to want to go wide. We want to play those lightning cards so that we can activate that ability, so we can create those embodiment of lightning tokens. So what better way to do that than having this 0 for 4 go again if it's been played from Arsenal. You've played your lightning card. Now we can continue our turn, pitch to instant speed, make an embodiment, get those go agains off that token, which, remember, embodiment of lightnings do not pop at the start of your turn like agility tokens do. They're more like quickens. They just stay there until you're ready to play your next attack, and then they give it go again. So really, really cool that we're able to just meet the condition very, very simply of playing any lightning card and then creating those embodiment of lightnings, which then stay on the board for your disposal at your convenience. So Lightning Surge from Arsenal and in Briar and even in Lexi, This card was really, really good. Those breakpoints are really pesky, especially at the lower life totals. So red Lightning Surge for me is not that hot of a take. But you know what is? That's going to be my good old friend Channel Thunderstep, which saw exactly 0 play in Tales of Aria. This is a 1-cost 3-block aura that says go again. Whenever you play an action card, you may pay 1 resource. If you do, it gains go again. Note that this says action card. There are a lot of action cards that do not have go again naturally. Channel Thunderstep makes it all happen. So this can be an attack action. This can be a non-attack action. And all you got to do is pay the 1. So if you don't have the resource curve, or maybe you wanted to spend those 2 resources that you would have otherwise made an embodiment of lightning on, you could then spend those 2 resources on Channel Thunderstep and give 2 attack actions or 2 non-attack actions go again. Worst case scenario, it can fuse. Also, it can pitch for 2, which, if we remember, her hero ability costs 2, it blocks for 3. This is a fantastic card that I think LSS is doing a fantastic job in helping to remind people that cards that may have not been usable or viable or very meta-driven, they can always sculpt future sets to help reintroduce those cards, and Channel Thunderstep is, in my opinion, exactly one of those cards. So another one of them, another hot take that I think is going to be one that LSS had in mind of making sure people touch, is Fulminate. Fulminate is a 2-cost, 2-block elemental action. It's a earth or lightning fusion, so if you have either hero can play this. This is going to say if it was fused with an earth card, attack actions you control gain +3. This is just the whole turn. And then also if Fulminate was fused with a lightning card, attack action cards you control gain go again this entire turn. But Fulminate, I think being able to wedge into either hero of whether it be Florian or Aurora, I really hope, because this artwork has always stood out to me, and it's always pissed me off that this card wasn't just insanely playable, because just look at it. I know there's a playmat for this, and I've seen it in person. It's beautiful. So yeah, I think that Fulminate is going to be a home run. Again, a 2-cost, perfectly meets Aurora's hero ability cost curve. But the 2-block doesn't really scare me too much. So those are the hot takes, the cold takes, the whatever takes you want on cards that I think you should keep your eye out on for Rosetta. Well, I'd love to sit here and talk to myself about what I'd love to see in this set, but I want to hear your thoughts down in the comment section. What are some of the cards that first came into your mind when you saw these heroes? Obviously, we haven't seen the wizards yet, so that's going to change the whole thing, blow it all out of proportion, maybe. So let me know down in the comment section what you're excited for as far as cards that you hope to see, what you hope to see entirely out of Rosetta. Are you scared of an all arcane set? Do you love an all arcane set? What are your thoughts? Let me know down in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like the video, share it with a friend. Your grandma called. She said she was wanting to hear about this new Rosetta set. Share it with her, why don't you? Until next time, we'll see you later.